Hey guys, on this episode I'm going to show you how I descend a steep scramble that's on a lot of pine needles and sticks and trees and that kind of stuff. So I don't actually have a lot of shrubs around me, so there's going to be a lot of sliding. So the first thing I've done is I've secured everything in my bag. So my pack has nothing loose that can pop out. So it means I can slide on my sides, my back, whatever. Nothing's gonna pop out, everything's secured. That's the first thing, everything's in the main bag. And next, you need gloves. My gloves are kind of shredded, but it doesn't matter. They're gummy, they're sticky, and they protect me when I grab onto roots and sticks and rocks in the ground. I can dig my hands in and I won't cut my hands up. So this is the next main thing. The other thing is the pole. So if you stab a pole into the ground really hard, you're taking a lot of the weight off of your feet and your back, and it just gives you an anchor. So even if you start sliding, you can jam it and use that as an anchor. So let's head down. So I'm currently going down Thunder Mountain. It's a very steep path. So the first thing we're gonna do is check my track. So you can see here, I've got my track, and so I want to change my direction. And I mean, relatively just gotta go this direction. So that's the main thing, is you wanna have you wanna be tracking somewhere. It doesn't matter if it's that's Wikiloc, you can use whatever, but you want to have a track so you can follow it down, but you don't want to have to rely on looking at it every 2 seconds. You just want to kind of use it as you go down. So what I'm going to do is use these trees a lot as I go down. I'm going to quickly throw on my other glove here, and then I can grab this tree. So I came up this tree. I like using trees. You can grab onto them. They give you something to put your foot on. They're stable. And I like to keep my butt as low as possible to the ground. So if you slip, you're not gonna, fall that far. In this case, see, I'm gonna use this as a step. There, you can see there. Okay, so this part is quite steep. And I'm gonna anchor my pole. And I'm gonna swing around and be grabbing this tree trunk with all my strength. That way I've got something to hold on to. And then anchor my pole quick. I got something to hold on to here, and then we're gonna go right into this tree. There we go. So now this is a game of going from tree to tree to tree, because you always have somewhere to stop, and it just gives you a bit of a break. So I always keep low, my knees are crouched down here. You kick all this loose stuff out of the way, because you don't want to rely on it. One hand on the ground. And yeah, we're just gonna zigzag down here. I've got this stick here, so that's not anchored, but it won't slide far. So we can use that. So you can just push on it, see? It's not going anywhere. So what we're gonna do is grab this tree, and then we'll use it like a rope to rappel. And we can slide, and then there's all these notches where the branches came out. You can use that to grab onto, slow yourself down. And yeah, I've got a wood pile here. So next I'm gonna go sideways over here and down to this tree right here. So I'm just bouncing from tree to tree. This branch here is still stable, yep, so you can use this as a rope, turn backwards and just grab it and rappel down. Get over it, don't hit your head on the other one. And we're still going the same direction we came. I know this because I've memorized the way I came up. I used this big honking tree here to come up. So I'm gonna use this big honking tree to go down. So we're just gonna anchor right into the base of it here. Oh, I attempted to walk right down it, but that's a little bit much. So if my foot blows out, I would be kind of screwed. Here we go, as my foot blows out. So you can put one foot on this thing as you're going down. I'm going down my butt here. And your feet will slow you down. There we go. And then we're gonna get over this other tree. I always use the trees. I hold on to them when I spin around them. This is a little slippery and a little steep here, but make do. Always take and use the pole to reduce my weight. Over and grab this. Okay, now I'm gonna start walking on this log, because I've already tested this one on the way out. Super stable. Kind of do 1 foot on each side, and eventually I'll just walk right on it. So we've got a nice little basin over here. We can kind of roll down. I just need to check my direction. I think I've got to go right there. When I came up, I actually didn't use this basin. And I should have. It's a lot easier. I went up the steep spot over to my left, but I'm looking at some of the big logs here. I memorized them. There's a stack of 4 down here that goes right to the spot where I need to exit, because there are a bunch of cliffs down here. And you can just see behind me here the stuff we came down. So it's pretty steep for like a pine needle, branchy, foresty kind of scramble. One of the steeper ones I've done, actually. Quite slippery, but it is doable because there's big trees laying on the ground and there's some kind of big divots, which allows you to get your feet into them and climb up. When I did Mount Strata, there was no divot. There was just a glass wall of pine needles and barely any trees. I couldn't get up to the trees. They were just too far apart. So I'm coming to a spot here. It's dropping off again, and I need to check my map. The map is everything, folks. Track it. I'm actually, my friend suggested Wikiloc, and I'm testing it out, and it is very accurate. So I'm impressed with that. All right, so if we check my map, you can see I'm not in the same spot. That's because I went down there's like that gully area, which was a lot nicer. So I've actually covered more distance faster. But if I keep going the same direction I'm going right now, I end up right back where I need to connect up right there. And let me show you another technique here. If you really need to get down, you can put your foot out like this and just keep using your pole. And my other foot is flat on the ground. So I'm sliding on my bottom foot, and this one's kind of using to guide. I'm on a rock right now, so we'll just go around that. But like right here is, I got a couple steps here I can take. But like say right here, you can scooch down. If you need to stop quickly, you can turn on 180, spin around and face the mountain and grip in with your feet as you're climbing, as if you're going to climb upwards, and that'll stop you pretty quick. You can dig your fingers in, start grabbing stuff, dig your toes in, you'll eventually stop. Okay, so this last section here is really steep. I'm just picking a line right through the trees there. I'm going for it. I'm going to just ping pong all these trees and scooch down. Let's go. So I'm going to start by crouching down really low and getting my pole in the ground here. Okay, looking at it, it's really steep. I'm gonna go to the left here. There's a tree right here. I can just use this to kind of get down a little bit. We're gonna spin around this tree here and grab it and use it like a rope. Hang from it backwards and then climb down backwards and get that pole on the ground to really take that weight off. Okay, now I'm looking, I've got a rock down here. Step on. Well, you guys can see that right there. So I know that's gonna hold. Dig that foot in, get the pole in, scooch and slide to the tree. Here we go. Now let's go sideways. It's always easier to go sideways on the mountain and just slowly descend versus straight down. It's too steep like this. I was kind of gonna try it, but it's actually too steep for me to do the foot scooch. So we're gonna just, once again, getting too far over to the side. There's a nice little ramp right here though, so you guys can see that. Almost looks like a trail built in. So we're gonna get here and reassess. So we can scooch here and go down, or between the trees, or we can go use this rock over here. This rock looks good. We can plant here, 1 foot on there. And then a little flat pad down here I can use. Go. I'm always looking for the flat spots that I can get my foot on, so I know I'll land on something, which is always at the base of these trees, but you've got to find them in between all the trees. So I'm going to do the same thing. You can see down here, we're going to get, where we go, down here to this dead tree. So now we're going to get to this curved tree. And then that tree and that tree, we're just gonna go angled all the way down using those trees. Okay, these curved trees are beautiful because you can just spin around them and grab them. They're not too big. When lunging forward into a tree like this, you don't want to do it with a tree this size, because when you lunge into this, it might just break off and you'll fly forward. You can do it with these big ones because they're not gonna, all my weight right into it, it's not going anywhere. Unless it looks like it's dead. But for the most part, big trees are good. Okay, well, I've got no other trees here. I think I just got to go for a scooch. There's lots of stuff on the ground. Okay, so we're gonna get in the scooch lane. Here we go. Okay, so I'm trying not to pick up too much speed here, so I'm just gonna stop and let this sit. The main thing is stops me my pole going in. You really don't want to scoot too fast here. Yeah. Okay. Whatever you do, don't scooch too fast. At absolute, like, last resort, just jam your pole in the ground and then have your feet land on the pole. So have your pole below your feet, jam it in quickly, and then line up your feet with the pole, and you will stop. Because if you get too much momentum, you might just start rolling, because this is really steep. So you only want to scooch, slide maybe 8 to 10 feet before you actually stop, and then scooch again, stop, scooch again, stop. Don't just go for it. The only place you can kind of really go for it is if you got snow and there's not a lot of trees around. I'm not kidding. Look how steep this is that we just came down. It's really steep. Okay, so you can see we've got another tree I'm using here. I'm just using my hand to brace. Pole goes in, hand goes on, then the feet move. So I'm trying to, like, almost do a dip where I'm holding myself between my pole and the tree. Now the tree breaks in half, so we got to get out of here. I'm gonna lean and step over here. Getting very close now. We're just gonna grab these trees, spin around, do-si-do. So I'm starting to see gravel and opening, and that's where my path is down there. There's a nice little traily bit here. There's these little flat ledges, just the way it grows, or whatever, on the rocks. So it's easier to use these and just zigzag down. So I know I came up right over here somewhere. I know I'm supposed to go more that way. I see the trail there. Let's just go there and see what it looks like. So this is not where I came up. There was a few spots I saw, but this one's a nice little ledge. Oh crap, this thing's coming down. See, grab something, sometimes they just don't work out. Okay, plant, step. Plant that pole, shimmy, plant, shimmy. So you can see the final spot. We came down up there and then just kind of shimmied down here and ended up near this log here on the ground. So I'm heading down now. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode and you learned how to scramble down a steep surface that's like foresty wood, pine needles, branches, that kind of thing. Ooh, yeah. This is the steepest one I've scrambled down, just that last section there. Definitely the steepest. In terms of that surface, steepest I've ever scrambled was the rock slab on Mount Mark East Ridge. So I'll link that video at the end here if you want to check that out. That one still gives me the EBGBs and scares the living daylights out of me when I go and do it. I've done it twice now. It still scares me horribly because it's got an exposed drop behind it, which is different. But hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Be sure to subscribe, thumbs up, and until next episode, have a great day.